I started teaching them. And it's part of your process. I'm going to keep talking about this. I've said it the last few weeks, but I really feel very strongly that your warm-up, this part of the class, is weighted in importance because it's there to hook you up to the instrument that we play. And there are restrictions, and you can see it. And you can sometimes sense the frustration of certain individuals, and just let it go, and you get to a point where suddenly you cross over, etc. Okay, so how does that relate to becoming a better actor? If I'm taking jazz guitar lessons, improv, and I thought there was scales. I hated to play scales when I was first learning guitar, and he taught me one scale, so I thought there was one scale in each key. Well, it turns out there's these things called modalities, and there's Ionian and Aeolian and Phrygian and Mixolydian and your Cravicet and your Lydian and Rivasogin and all this shit. But it's starting to make sense. And the reason I'm mentioning that is I'm starting to put together that, oh my God, I can start this tune in this scale, but up here it leads it right into this scale, and then it leads it into another scale. So my instrument has stretched, and my facility has stretched, and my confidence has increased in the instrument, because I used to think, how do they do those things? How do they know where to go on the fretboard? Well, now I'm seeing certain spots, and they're starting to connect. And that's what's happening here. When you can just go like that at a moment's notice in an audition and have no fear, or you can turn on the tears, or you can, go from and feel it 100% without any restrictions, without fear of anybody judging you. And it's not even in your consciousness. Do you think that might make you a better actor? Young man and I, congratulations for joining us. That took a great deal of courage, and we thank you for jumping in there. We see it all the time. We know what to do. We know where we want to go. But something sometimes holds us back. Yes? A little bit? Okay? And yeah, we're trying to learn about how to make intelligent choices and how to make acting more interesting and real and stuff. But if it's visceral and if it's connected to this voice, this body, your own emotional truth, you're going to work. And you're going to have more fun doing it, by the way. Acting is you can get more naked than you are naked and get paid for it and have the most damn fun. It's what attracted me to it. I was working on the set all week, as you know, which is why we're here tonight instead of last night. And I'm always thinking about the class and relating it to the class. And as I'm lying on the tarmac in fucking Abbotsford, in the snow and the rain and the mud, and I'm thinking, okay, this is pretty real. I have to jump out of the way of a car and land on this pad under which is nothing more than asphalt, and it's still hard, right? And all the yucky, and I'm going, acting is visceral, it's real. Why am I doing this? Okay, well, you want to tell the truth of the story, and there's nothing like, a little dirt and blood and mud and crap, and I'm freezing my ass off, so I really didn't have to act very much. Because basically I was freezing to death, and that pissed me off, and then I got out of that, where I wanted to be emotionally, okay? It's physical. For me, when I came into my class and started doing my path was physicality. Once I learned that I could do all that crazy shit, it's like somebody gave me a get out of jail free card. I just went nuts. And then, you know, the voice hooked up to the body, and then the emotions came. I don't care what your path is, whether it's physical or whether it's vocal or whether it's emotional. Find your way in. Whatever is, you know, easy for you, do that, you know? And then it all hooks up. Then we can get to how we break a script down and what choices we make to make it more interesting. That's a whole nother deal where you read a script and you say, okay, well, I've got this distillation of little black words on white paper, okay? What is the condition of that character? What is the relationship? What is really going on here, and how do I bring it? Before you can do that, that to me is the music, okay? But before you can do that, you gotta be able to play the instrument. Make sense?
Yeah.
I was watching the stunt people do their job, and where I was falling onto a pad, he was falling onto the asphalt. And he actually came up to me and said, dude, you got more air than I did. And I said, yeah, well, I had a pad, you know. What I was struck with was, we had a conversation, and you do stunts, right? Magali, you've done stunts. And they had these kids, they're just diving and they're doing all this stuff and they're fearless. And I said, wow, at one point the guy was actually, I was in the tent watching the monitors, and the guy jumped out of the car, or out of the way of the car, and landed on the concrete, or the asphalt, and he's mud and all that stuff. And he's actually acting like, you know, oh my God, I've hurt my hip and everything. And the director says, well, what's he doing? Oh, he's acting, no, that's pretty good. And it was really good. He like stayed in character the whole time. So I went up to him after, and I said, by the way, the director, you know, really liked what you did, you know? He said, oh, really? And he was so grateful, and he says, man, he says, I gotta tell you, he says, no, he said, this is nothing. He said, what, you know, he says, I know some actors are afraid of stunts, but you know about stunt people, we're afraid of lines. I went, wow, you'll jump off a building, but you won't say a line because it's of emotion, or you won't cry on camera. He may be auditing, by the way, so. There was a lot of people that was really nice. A lot of people came up and they may be coming, I don't know that. But it made me think about this, because they want to be actors. They want to do what we do. And so they're getting as close as they can by jumping out of the way of cars and in buildings and stuff, but they want to be actors. And their fear is having somebody see them. You know? See the little soft underbelly. It's interesting, don't you think? People are like that. We don't want what is it, you know, when somebody gets emotional, they go, oh, you know, they'll leave the room or whatever. We don't want people as human beings to see us in distress or in fear or in any of that stuff. Well, that's our job, to show that. And it's, you know, then it makes it more interesting, because we have to have that and feel that, but then we have to put a lid on it like a normal human being does, right? So it can be a complicated process, but for those of us that are bit by this incredible bug, you know the joy of being able to, you know, connect with a character and connect with it emotionally and bring the truth and life to a piece. There's nothing quite like it. It's what bit me some 36 years ago, and it's nice that, I mean, even though we're doing a movie of the week in fucking Abbotsford, it's gonna be in the Hallmark Channel. It's still wonderful. We're telling a story. I got to, oh, this is another thing. This is hilarious. So I'm trying to kill Candace Cameron in a warehouse. For those of you who don't know, she was on Full House as a little kid, and then she was on Fuller House as a grown-up. She's a great girl. And I'm trying to kill her, and she's just whacked me with a fire extinguisher. And again, this is all this stuff, this is this lie of on-camera acting, which is fucking horseshit. Sorry, let me say that again. It's fucking horseshit. Show me one on-camera acting class that has camera A set, camera B set, has the lighting guy there, has the makeup lady on you, has the hair person on you, has the guy going with the clacker right in front of you, has all this cacophony going on, and you got to not only remember your lines, but at that moment you have to remember to throw the gun into the mat that's there, and then you have to run to the door and close the door and pull her back and close that door and make sure you give a look to Mary Lou Henner, and then you come back and then you're smacked by the goddamn fire extinguisher. You go into the fucking table, then you run for the gun, pick up the gun, and run after. Anybody get that in an on-camera acting class?
When is that ever gonna happen?
It happened last night, yeah. So here's the deal. When I will challenge you, when you go to an on-camera acting class, and they have all of those things set up, and then they do the reverse, and then you got to do it all again, and then they do the singles, and then they do all of that, and they recreate that set, then I will sign up. It's horseshit. You have to know how to stay in character, to stay emotionally true to there. This was the weirdest thing. Rewind. The highest compliment you can get on a movie or TV set is when the guy who's the dolly operator, or is the clacker, I don't know what the hell to call it, or the best boy, or the lighting guy comes up and says, "I love what you did, man. You are a good actor." That's it. Case closed. Over. Why? Because they watch day after day after day after year of actors that can't and don't. And they know. And they want to tell you that they know. So, that scene I just described, we did it and we did it and we did it. And we had we chopped it up in the overs. Then we had to do it full out for the main master. And I'm into it at that point, and I mean, I crashed into the damn thing, and I scrambled for the gun, and I pulled something in my thigh, which pissed me off, and I'm running my old ass full speed toward the camera and through it, and the place went crazy. They just went nuts, because they like to see actors committed to doing something like that, right? And there were, not just me, but I mean, there was a lot of physicality. I mean, this is what I've been telling you. You know, if you watch the good series, I mean, you see somebody in almost every episode has a breakdown, or they're in rage, or they're in tears, or they're in some kind of passion, or there's some kind of physical action going on. So if you're not prepared to do that, if you want to be a movie star instead of an actor, you're going to have a problem. So what we do in here is try to train every part of your physical instrument, vocally, physically, emotionally, so that you can then take the score of the music and make beautiful music with it. And it's interesting to me, the people behind that camera respond as an audience. That's what they do. They're into it, you know, and they're doing all their stuff and their calculations, and they got to hit the lines, and they got the dolly going, and the boom operator's doing his thing, and they're wiring you up and checking, and have hair, makeup, and they're all, but once that thing goes action, they're all, you know, just like in the audition room. So, we'll be talking more about this.